This is the story of how one water leak developed into a living nightmare.
Okay guys, guess what? Very exciting news indeed, right? Today, we finally had the people who are going to be refitting all of our units and whatnot get in touch with us and arrange a date to start work. Yep, what he said. Yeah, so they're coming and starting work on the 19th of August, and they've allocated 4 days to do said work, which I think is a bit much, but I don't know. It's better to have too much booked in than not enough. And it's better to do the job properly than, you know, rush it and make it a bodge job. So yes, we've got the work booked in for 4 days from the 19th of August. Great stuff. So now the main concern, because of course, like everything throughout this ordeal, you know, nothing's gone absolutely perfectly. So yes, now the next thing is that we've kind of sort of only got accommodation up until the 16th of August. So actually my mum has somehow managed to find 3 potential properties that we could stay in for the following week, that last week before, hopefully, the work is finished and we can at last move back into our house. Yeah, so we've always found 3 properties, bless her. However, she's tried contacting the insurance people today, and they've come back saying, oh, well, we're going to try and hurry the work up so that you don't need to stay anywhere else, or, oh, we can potentially, you know, get you back in a house, and if it's not quite how it needs to be, then we can do pop-up stuff on your driveway, you know, pop-up bathroom, pop-up kitchen, or whatever. You know, even though while the work is going on, all of the kitchen units are going to have to be on the driveway because they're not going to be able to be in the kitchen because, as you can see, it's not the biggest space in the world. And you cannot have people working in here while all this stuff is here. You know, it's going to have to be done bit by bit. So, yes, not that the insurance people seem to have worked that one out. So, yes, they're still saying, oh, no, you know, we're going to get pop-up stuff. Or else actually, I mentioned speeding up the work, right? Which I know sounds really weird. The insurance company actually wanted to get stuff done quickly. Bear in mind, they've dragged it out for however many bloody months this is now. Yeah. But they're only interested in, like, getting... Or they've only thought about the kitchen. They're all like, oh, well, you know, we can try and bring the work to get the basic stuff back in the kitchen. That's all well and good, but we still can't live here if we don't have a bathroom. You know... Honestly, it's beggars belief. So anyway, we've got some really good news, and we've also got yet another hiccup. Today, we move out of the accommodation at California, at last, because we have been here for a long old while. 6, maybe nearly 7 weeks now. Yeah, that is quite a long time. And actually, over that time, the amount of stuff that we've brought here, you know, we've brought cushions from the house, we've brought various different things, because obviously we've been living here, sort of thing, you know, and brought a lot of stuff, and now we've got to try and take that stuff with us. But yeah, so throughout the past few days, we've been going back to our house and just dumping little bits here and there, back there. In our time here, we've had a few issues. To be honest, I'm not actually blaming the place, I'm more blaming us, or certainly this year, because anything this year that we have anything to do with just seems to go wrong. I mean, in the 6 or 7 weeks we've been here, we've acquired a dripping tap and a leaking sink, and that's just in the kitchen. Then we've had various different glasses and bowls smash or crack. So, yeah, but equally, you know, we've replaced anything that has decided to get broke. And we've also been doing little chores here and there, like Mum's weeded the driveway, me and Dunk between us have cut the grass a few times. You know, we've done the things while we're here, of course. You know, just to sort of say thanks, because, you know, we're just those kind of people. Moving out this time, there are a few key differences, actually. For starters, the summer holidays. So, any other time that we've moved out, I've left one place in the morning to go to college, and then come back home to a different place, Whereas today, I'm actually going to be the one loitering around. Both Doug and my mum are going to work. I'm just going to have to loiter around somewhere, probably go back to the house. I don't know yet, you'll see, because I'm going to vlog the day. But another even bigger key difference, right, is the fact that I've got a car. Last time we moved, actually the last time we moved was the day of my driving test. So, you know, this is the first time that we've moved when I've been able to drive and have my own car and whatnot. So that in itself is a bit crazy. And yeah, I'm going to have all my stuff with me. But anyway, listen, suppose I'll actually start loading up the car now. So let's come with me. Oh, let's get the coffin in there. One thing that I must say, right, the last couple of weeks have been unbearably hot, right? Which is great, you know, it's summer, that's what you expect. But then today, of all days, when we're moving out, right, it's a bit chilly. It's supposed to warm up later, but as you can see, it's overcast. Yeah, it's a bit chilly. In fact, I've had to put strides on. This is the first time I've worn trousers in God knows how long, and it actually feels a bit unnatural it's been that long.
A few moments later.
Alrighty then, so it is actually starting to hot up a bit now. Got the shades out, of course. Well, I've made it home. And I've taken some stuff out of my car. Not a lot, but I've taken the duvet out and one or two other things. This is a perfectly, or a surprisingly, practical car, given its size. And so yeah, it can fit quite a bit of stuff in. Whether or not it can go, that's another story. Because well, on the drive over here, right, it was only a short drive, but I definitely noticed the difference. I didn't think I would, I'll be honest, because when I was learning to drive, I drove my mum's car with just me and her, and then a little bit of stuff in the boot. And that didn't feel any different to when I had three of us in the car and the boot full of stuff. Yeah, and actually right, came off roundabout a bit quick, and I felt the back end kicked out a bit, but yeah, that was a bit. Ooh, that was definitely a thing. I've had to hop on the old computer and delete some footage off of this SD card, because this one SD card has all the clips from the documentary on. It also had all the clips from the video tour of my car, has some magnet fishing clips on it still, and I think it's got a couple other clips from different things as well. So, you know, and that one SD card has lots of stuff on it. So yeah, so I had to get on and sort that out. I've sent a couple emails as well. I've been fairly productive, you know, of course.
A few moments later.
Alrighty then, so I had a message from my mum a little while ago to say that apparently we could get into the new place a little bit earlier. So Doug's already home. He's been home for a little while now. So we're just waiting for my mum to finish work. Or actually, I should have finished work by now. So I'm waiting for her to come home. So then the three of us are then going to go in convoy to the next and hopefully last place of accommodation. But in the meantime, I'm indulging in sitting in my chair in my room for the first time in God knows how long, because I can. Can you scrap that? She's home now. Yay! Can we go to the next place? Yay! Good.
I reckon he's traumatised.
Paul.
Are you traumatised?
I'm surprised.
And
Look
I'm
at the
not
state of this place.
Oh, it's a pigsty.
A few moments later.
It's a bit of a walk from where you park to this place, but here it is in all its glory, including a hot tub. Yes. I'm here by my own this afternoon. That's because, well, Doug's at work, because obviously, you know, we're still working and whatnot while this is going on. This ain't no holiday. Just Doug's at work, and then my mum's at our house while the people that are refitting stuff are there as well. So she's got to be there for the next 4 days, which is a bit of a faff because she's going to have to keep coming to and fro. And obviously while she's there, until they've actually got the bathroom sorted out, she can't go to the toilet or anything. But what's also really annoying as well is the fact that at this place you're only allowed to have 2 cars here. We tried having all three here, because well, you see, you get one space allocated to each of these three properties. So you get one for each of those, plus then one extra. However, Dunk, he parked on the grass bit to, you know, so that other people could park in the extra gravel bit, you know. He thought, well, I'm out of the way and whatnot, and to be honest, the grass isn't, well, it's hardly grass, it's more weed, so I sort of thought, oh yeah, that'll be fine. But then the next day, typically, the gardeners turned up wanting to cut the grass, and unfortunately we were actually out then. We then had to come back here, and then, well, we actually moved my car back to the house, and then had my mum's and Doug's here during the weekend, and then during the week, because my mum's going to be spending most of the time there, her car's going to be there, and then I've got Ian with me right now, and then Dunk will just ferry my mum to and from the house during the week. So yeah, so it's a right faff, it's a right nuisance, but it's only a few more days, and then fingers crossed we can actually get back into our house. Okay, so a very, very quick update. We're 2 days into the refitting, so we're sort of halfway there. And guess what? We've got a fully functioning bathroom. Look at this. We've got a toilet. I've actually just used the toilet for the first time. Look at this. Shower's in place. Still need to get the shower screen up, but we're having a different one to what was there before. But yeah, bath's in, toilet's in, sink never came out. This is the kitchen. As you can see, lots of progress made. I reckon we're about halfway, or rather they are halfway through in here. Oh, and the clock's back up as well. Whee, clock's up. Yeah, so as you can see, work seems to be going well, and fingers crossed we can move back in a couple of days. But for now, we've got to shoot back to the place we're staying in Rollesby, because Doug's at work. I've messaged him, but I don't think he's seen it. So he's probably going to try and go straight there, even though I've got the key. So, yeah. So, today's the day that the work has been finished. Today's the day that all the refitting has been done and dusted. In theory. Because, of course, like everything in this whole ordeal, nothing's gone 100% smoothly. And, well, to be fair, these past 4 days have been going pretty well indeed. Today, the geezers were actually refitting things such as kickboards and skirting boards, and they were actually painting the latter. But not only did they just paint the skirting boards, they also painted all the door frames as well, so that they all match. So, you know, to be fair, hats off to them. They were being very, very thorough. Unfortunately, time was against them, especially when at 4:20 this afternoon, gas people came to come and reconnect up the hobs. While they were doing that, the refitting people couldn't be in there doing anything. Although obviously anything to do with gas can't be bodged, you know, that has to be done, and that has to be done properly and thoroughly. So, you know, fair enough. But yeah, but then when they left, the refitting people could get back in there. But by that point, obviously, time's marching on, and well, their base is over an hour away, so, you know, they want to, ultimately, they want to go back to base, and they want to go home. That's completely fair enough. I get that. But unfortunately, because of that, they kind of sort of do a couple things. Including putting the sink or the tap in the kitchen properly. And so that actually started leaking. So my mum had to quickly go out and nab them and get them to do that. She also had to get them to put in the washing machine as well, because they hadn't put the washing machine in. Or they hadn't actually like plumbed it in and connected it up. So if we wanted to wash any clothes, then we would have been screwed. So yeah, so she got them to do that. Sink apparently might still be leaking just a little bit. But the biggest issue is the fact that she then went to test the oven. The oven ain't working. So it's either not been wired up properly, or it's not been wired in at all. So yeah, so that plus maybe a little bit of a leak still with the tap means that it's still not technically complete. But to be fair, things could have actually been a lot worse, because, well, the original plan today was I was going to stay at the house until the people had finished. And if I would have been the last person to leave, then I probably wouldn't have checked these things that my mum has checked. And so, you know, we could have come back and found our house flooded. And, you know, you got to remember, it's a bloody water leak that started this whole ordeal. Last thing we want is another water leak. Especially because we've got nowhere else to stay. We are going home tomorrow no matter what. Also tomorrow, however, we've got a project manager coming over in the morning who will be going to sign off the work. Or he thinks he'll be signing off the work. But instead of us turning to him and going, up, yep, work's done. You can tick that box and head straight off again. So we'll have to be said to him, work's kind of sort of not quite done. So, very sorry, but, like, you need to get this finished. Like, now, please. Thank you. You know, what we've been through is unacceptable. So, you know, we're making note of this stuff. And at this moment in time, we're not quite sure what we're going to do with that information. I mean, we have actually already approached complaints people, but they did fuck all. So it's possible we will be taking legal action against the insurance company. So we've got all this stuff noted down, all this stuff recorded, plus the video as well, of course, you know, plus this documentary. So we have got a heck of a lot of stuff to throw at them.
A few moments later.
Okay, so my mum has just got back at last, and well, I'm afraid she has more cock-ups to report. Including one that actually features the word cock in it. Stop cock in the bathroom. That, along with all the pipes, are covered by boards, which before you could, like, just lift off and put back again so that you could access stuff if necessary. But, well, you see, despite my mum actually saying to these refitted people to not seal around the bit where the stopcock is, they've done it anyway. So now, if we needed to actually access the internal stopcock, we can't. Or, if we were to, then we'd have to basically prise these boards off, potentially pull some of the paint off, potentially damage the boards while doing it. So that's a big old cock-up. On the topic of sealant, apparently they've not also sealed around the kitchen sink properly. Furthermore, they've also not sealed in between the different worktop pieces, because the worktop's in like 4 sections, and apparently they're not sealed between any of them either. What else? I'm just looking at the list down here. Oh, and another thing is, we've got this little shower screen in the bathroom, but apparently they've not... It's all sealant stuff. They've not sealed underneath that either, and so when you put the shower on, it just all leaks out onto the floor. And obviously it was a shower leak that caused all this bloody chaos in the first damn place, so that's not great at all. So yeah, so basically, we've got this whole great big list, which is now forwarded to both me and Dominic. I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt for like one or two things not being quite right, you know, but the fact that they've not sealed key places that need to be sealed, and then also gone on to seal places that we asked them not to. We're now a bit more niffed off because of that, you know, like... Guys, it gets even worse! Right, my mum was just telling me about how the people that were refitting stuff, right, the cheek of them, they tried to nick off with stuff. Like, for example, my mum bought a cap for the end of the pipe that, well, where the bath is, it takes the grey wastewater away, right? But obviously while the bath wasn't there, that was just exposed and water was coming out, so she bought a cap for that. I think we might have talked about, I don't know, that's bloody ages ago. Anyway, the cap on that, they've nicked off with that, and apparently a fitting for the gas, right? But the gas people turned up, they were like, oh, have you got this fitting? And apparently these people had it in their van. The refitting people had nicked off with it, probably going to take it and try and sell it or something, or just keep it for themselves. They bloody nicked the fitting for... Flipping heck, I'm just... Jeez. I mean, Mum was just saying, like, you know, she was going around checking stuff. She's saying, oh, well, I shouldn't have to do that. She was sort of doing that, thinking, oh, I'd love to be proved wrong, you know. Every time she does things, check things, whatever, she's always like, oh, I'd love to be proved wrong. But unfortunately, every time she does it, she's always proved right, because there's always something that is just being cocked up. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll tell you something, you know, this conversation tomorrow with the project manager is going to be... It's gonna be fun. Alrighty then, guys. this is it. We're going home today. Got the coffin all packed. They're all packed. Just in case, get that in the car. Then we're going to go home. Yippee!
A few moments later.
Okay, so this is us home at last. It's a rather weird feeling. To be honest, it doesn't feel real at the moment. But anyway, let me show you some of the things, some of the issues. Starting off with this here, you can see all the water's run out of there. My mum literally put the shower on for about a second. And yeah, it's all dribbled out of there, so that's one issue. Another issue, the stopcock is... Where is the stopcock? It's under there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all been sealed around, so you can't access that. Then if we go into the kitchen, here we are, the kitchen. Again, feels really weird to see this. There's a slight leak from one of these bad boys, apparently. My mum knows which one. She said small one from the grey way, so I'm guessing it might be that one. The sink all along this front bit here has not been sealed by the looks of things. She's got a sealant along there, I can actually feel it. But yeah, there's like a little bit there and that's about it. And then also if you look in between the work surfaces, there's just a gap there, nothing's been put in there. Then you turn the cooker on, absolutely bugger all happens. But the electric must be working because you can still start the hob because it's an electric ignition to start that, so great. Yeah. But I mean, in spite of all of that, let's be honest, it's nice to be home. It really is. I think the cat's going to enjoy having us home now. Look at him. There. Having some scram. And as you can see, still says 17th of May. But it's about time to change that. Now that we are actually home at last, I'm going to change the date. I'm going to finally update it. Today is the 23rd, that will be the 2 then, the 23rd of August. We've gone right the way from the very start of this little month cube right to the very end, skipping June and July, straight on August, 23rd of lovely jubbly. Right guys, so we had the project manager over a little while ago, and God, that was funny. Comes to the door and he's like, "Oh yeah, how you doing? Is everything sorted then?" And we're just like, well, my mum, she literally went, "Ha ha, no." No, and so she then proceeded to show him all the stuff that's going on. Genuinely, I've never seen a man look so exasperated in my life. Poor bugger. And actually, he's actually now wired our cooker in, our oven. He sorted that out for us because, you know, the amount of things that were there, he was sort of like, this is just like unacceptable. So he's actually wired the oven in for us. And then he's also arranged for someone else to arrive. It should have arrived by now, actually, about an hour ago. But anyway, he's arranged for someone else to come today and put in sealant in various places and sort a few bits and bobs out. And also secure the oven, because the other thing is, when the guy pulled the oven out, I thought, that was pretty easy to pull out. And he was like, yeah, well, it's not actually been secured. So, so the oven's just sitting in there. So yeah, so hopefully all these things are going to get sorted out today, actually. The main one of actually having a working oven is sorted. But yeah, but it'd be really nice to get all this work done today, especially as it's bank holiday weekend, so after today, working wouldn't be getting done until like Tuesday, so we'll have to wait a few days. Yeah, so big bonus has got the oven done. But anyway, unfortunately there wasn't much time to celebrate that, because Doug then got an email from the boatyard saying that apparently our boat had caused some damage to another boat, because it's a very, very windy day. We've got Storm Lillian or something, some storm beginning with L, hitting at the moment, all the remnants of, so it's very windy. And so because we'd spun the boat round to do some fishing, the front of it was like sort of just scuffing the back of another boat, so we had to quickly go and investigate that, spin it round, sort it out. On the email they said that like they were going to have to inform the owners of damage and whatnot, but to be honest it just looks like a bit of a scuff, which actually I rubbed my finger over. I mean, obviously I didn't want to clamber on someone else's boat, but I just sort of rubbed my finger on it and it sort of seemed to come off a little bit. So it's not really damaged as such, but anyway, yeah, so that's the thing. It's just one thing after another, honestly. But But anyway, I've literally just finished unpacking. God, it's nice to be back in my room. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to flop on my bed. Oh! Right. So this one has just finished an email to the insurance people and their main contractor. Fun, wasn't it?
I tell you what, my fingers smoking on that keyboard. Smoking. I'm on a roll.
Yeah, because
I'm exhausted now.
She's had to basically update them saying, oh yes, we're back in the house, this is what's happened, this is what hasn't happened. Because they haven't checked in on us. Like, genuinely, if we weren't able to move back today, they don't care. They haven't checked in to see whether we can or not. So
They could be on the
that's...
streets, then.
Yeah, because there is literally nowhere else for us to stay unless we would stay in some really flashy hotel where breakfast isn't included, tea, any meals are included, we can't prepare anything, stuff like that.
Holiday, everywhere's booked up.
Exactly, but you know, they've just not even bothered to check in or anything. She sent an email. She also said about all the stuff that still needs doing, because apparently the person isn't actually coming today. Their job that was nearly done at like 11:30ish is overrun. So,
On a Friday, just before the bank holiday? I don't think so.
So yeah, so there's...
It was pretty obvious what was going to happen.
So, one thing, we are really glad that case manager, whoever he is, that geezer, that he put the oven in.
Oh god,
because otherwise, the oven might not actually be fixed in place, but at least we can use it and actually cook. A couple other things we've discovered since as well, right? These cupboard doors. Now, if you go in here, right, you can see there's extended hinges because this is a corner cupboard. If you look here, extended hinges there. That one doesn't have them. Why? Because these two cupboards are the wrong way round, or the cupboard doors are the wrong way round, should I say. So, at this point we're thinking, you know what, something like cupboard doors, we're just going to bloody switch them around ourselves. You know what, this is unbelievable.
Putting it politely, it's a bloody nightmare, and it is one that I wouldn't want anybody else to go through. It's been absolutely bloody dreadful. So glad to get home, but coming back into this, we should just be able to come back into our house, into our kitchen, and pick up where we left off. We can't even do that. We can cook, yes, we're back in our house, thank you. But so apart from that, there's this that needs doing, that needs doing, this, that. And you'd have thought they'd have got that right when they put the blasted thing back in, wouldn't you?
Okay, so today is a very exciting day because today we have finally got the flooring. Look at this! Look at this, we've got flooring in the hallway, flooring in the kitchen, and we've even got flooring in the bathroom. Woo! However, what's also in the bathroom is a towel on the floor, as well as actually the flooring down. Because despite this being the official completion date, stuff isn't completed. Of course not. Why would anything ever go exactly as it needs to? Christ, right. There isn't much left to do, to be fair. We are basically there. For starters, shower screen still leaks. We've had one, maybe two lots of people come out since the last clip. That still leaks. The last guy didn't even bother doing anything. He blamed it on the actual thing. And the manufacturer of it. Can't lie, part of me is thinking maybe it is a manufacturer fault, but at the same time, as my mum pointed out, these two bits had to be joined because, you know, that bit was screwed onto the wall and then this bit was attached to it, and it's in that seal where it leaks, so it could be the manufacturer's fault, but equally, it is still very much likely that it is the people who put it in, the installers, that's their fault. Other things that need doing, the toilet needs screwing down because that never got done because they didn't want to drill holes before the flooring went down and then have to drill more holes. That makes sense, but as to when the toilet is going to get actually screwed in, God knows. And the other thing is, you might be noticing, we're lacking a fridge because our fridge freezer, that's still in the living room. and nobody has that on their scope of works to move it back into the kitchen. It's a very simple thing to do, but yeah, nobody's on their scopes of work. We're like basically there, but just still a little bit off that means that we're not very quite complete, and so the ordeal carries on. So it's been quite a while since I last did one of these update clips, nearly 4 months to be precise. Anyway, as you can see behind me, the fridge is back in situ, the fridge is back in the kitchen, yes. And as you can see, I've got all the magnets on, in spite of the fact that I've kind of sort of forgot to take a picture of them before we took them off. But to be honest, I actually prefer this configuration. Previously there's a zigzag pattern. But yeah, nevertheless, that was the right old faff to do. Okay, so you're probably thinking, right, well your house has been dried out, your kitchen and bathroom have been reassembled, your flooring's been put down, and your fridge is back in the kitchen. Case closed, right? If only! However, before I get onto that, very quick, funny story about the fridge. You see, the guy rocked up at about 8:05 in the morning, which is bloody early, and he was sort of cowering on the doorstep, being like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. We're like, what do you mean? Everybody else has rocked up to do work, has rocked up at 10 or 11 in the morning, because the insurance company tend to use firms from several counties away. I mean, we've had people from Leicester, people from various different places. You know, they've never been anywhere local, so the fact that a guy was there at like 8:05 in the morning was like, no, you're anything but late, mate. He then went on to disclose that he was a bit worried because we kind of sort of had a red flag next to our name on the system. Yes, that's right, the insurance company had put us down as being unreasonable and difficult on their system. Now, considering everything we've been through, I think we're perfectly reasonable, thank you very much. You know, my mum, she has lost her temper once on the phone, but just that one time across what is essentially a year now. Now, it is rather funny, can't lie. But it is also a bit offensive as well, the fact that we've had a marker been put on the system against our name, and the fact that we haven't been told either. You know, I mean, this guy, you know, we welcomed him in despite the fact that we were still in our pyjamas, we were making him cups of tea and whatnot, you know, and as he said when he left, we are perfectly reasonable people. There is no reason for there to be a marker on our name. You know, we're not violent, we're not aggressive, we're perfectly reasonable. We just want what has been a ridiculously long saga to just be sorted. That's all we want. So, 2 weeks ago, pretty much to the day, the insurance company actually closed our case. But 24 hours later, a thing occurred. And I'm on the floor for a reason. Because basically, where the water inlet for the dishwasher and washing machine is situated, it's situated under there. Also situated under there is a power socket, well, 2 power sockets, which supply electrical feed to the dishwasher and washing machine. Now, remember how I said that my mum had to get the people back in to actually connect up the washing machine because they hadn't done that? They were trying to leave before they'd actually done that yet. Well, it turns out that they hadn't put some sealant-y stuff around the pipe to the washing machine, and so they hadn't actually plumbed it in properly, because of course they were in such a rush, which led to water slowly dripping out of there, running down the pipe and dripping straight onto the electrical sockets. Want to see the results? This monstrosity. Look at this. This is actually inside, right? As you can see, it's all brown and disgusting because water was getting in there and actually very nearly set fire to our house. And that's not an exaggeration, because when this was discovered, my mum and Doug were both in the kitchen and they could sort of smell some sort of smoke and hear some sort of crackling. Doug then removed the kickboard to discover this thing literally sparking and producing more heat than the sun, to the point where this switch here, right, genuinely cannot be moved because it's melted the plastic. Yeah, it's actually melted the plastic. That's how hot it was going, that's how dangerous it was. So it's straight switch off the mains, and then Doug has fitted a new one of these, because obviously we're not going to wait for the insurance company to send someone out. That'd be weeks. So yeah, so we've had to replace this because this was basically a fire hazard. He's also moved the electric box well out of the way of the pipe and also put some more seal around the washing machine, which is spinning and creating a very annoying noise right now. Could have actually lost our house because these people, these idiots that did this bodge job. So my mum has sent off an email to the insurance company and they have now reopened the case, and as it stands the case is still open to this day because of monumental incompetence. So this is where we're going to leave this documentary. It's been 7 months in the making. This whole saga has been going on for over a year now. The case is still open, but this does seem like a good a time as any to end off this documentary. We may well do a follow-up video at some point, but this is the bulk of the stuff out of the way. So, yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure you've watched part 1 as well as this part 2. And we'll catch you tomorrow for a roundup of our 2024. Bye.